Is he a ghoul or a vampire? I mused. I had read of such hideous incarnate demons, and then I set myself to reflect how I had tended him in infancy and watched him grow to youth and followed him almost through his whole course, and what absurd nonsense it was to yield to that sense of horror. But where did he come from, that little dark thing, harbored by a good man to his bane? Muttered suspicions as I dozed into unconsciousness. And I began half dreaming to weary myself with imaging some fit parentage for him. The repeating my waking meditations, I tracked his existence over again in grim variations at last, picturing his death and funeral, of which all I can remember is being exceedingly vexed at having the task of dictating an inscription for his monument and consulting the sexton about it. And as he had no surname and we could not tell his age, we were obliged to content ourselves with the single word Heathcliff. That came true. We were. If you enter the kirkyard, you'll read on his hearthstone only that and the date of his death. Dawn restored to me common sense. I rose and went to the garden as soon as I could see to ascertain if there were any footmarks under the window. There were none. He stayed at home, I thought, and he'll be all right today. I prepared breakfast for the household, as was my usual custom, and told Hareton and Catherine to get theirs ere the master came down, for he were late. They preferred taking it out of doors under the trees, and I set a little table of accommodating for them. On my re-entrance, I found Mr. Heathcliff below. He and Joseph were conversing about some framing business. He gave clear, minute directions concerning the matter discussed, but he spoke rapidly and turned his head continually aside, and he had the same excited expression, even more exaggerated. When Joseph quitted the room, he took his seat in the place he generally chose, and I put a basin of coffee before him. He drew it near, and then